Hey everyone, we're going to quickly go through rule-based categorization for Salesforce B2C commerce. Rule-based categorization or dynamic categorization pretty much allows you to assign all products that fit a specific criteria to a category. The way the criteria is assigned is through rules, which are part of rule sets, and those are assigned specifically to the categories themselves. So let's dive right in. And along the way, we'll talk about some of the nuances of creating rules and also some of the limitations of creating rules. In order to create a rule, we're going to make sure that we're in the Merchant Tools of Business Manager, which we are. And then we're going to go ahead and go into our catalogs and drill down into a category that we want to work with. So we're going to go to the apparel M category, the men's subcategory, accessories, and then we're going to move ourselves over to gloves. All right, on this category, you don't see anything about editing a category or dynamic categorization. We'll get back to that, but it's basically the same principle as products where you have to lock a category in order to edit the category itself, just like you have to lock a product to edit the product products themselves. Before we get into that though, I want to show you what products are already inside of this category. Currently we have 4, and I also want to draw your attention to this assigned column right here. Inside this assigned column, you can see that the assignment type is manual for these products. That will come in later on after we do our dynamic assignment for products to this category. All right, like I said, you have to lock a category to edit a category similar to how products have to be locked. So let's go ahead and click this edit button, which in effect locks the category for editing. All right, once we're inside the edit menu, we can see now we have a whole bunch of different tabs that we can further refine a category or add details or change details. But then we also have this categorization rules tab, and that's the one that we're really focused on and concerned about with this demonstration. So we're going to go ahead and click inside that categorization rules tab. As you can see for this category, there's no categorization rules yet. There's no rule set. We're going to create the first ones for this category right now. In order to do that, we're going to go ahead and click on New. And then for this category assignment, we're going to choose the primary category assignment. Right now, there are 2 product category assignments that can happen. There's a primary and there's a classification. If you want to read more about these, I suggest going to help.salesforce.com, clicking on the little Ask Agentforce button, and then ask Agentforce to explain primary and classification category assignments. You'll get a very clear definition there, point you to some of the documentation. It's beyond the scope of this tutorial right now. For this tutorial, we're just going to go ahead and create the primary category assignment for the products, and we're also going to make sure the rule set is enabled. Now we have a rule set that has no rules in it yet, so let's go ahead and add a rule. Now this is where you can get as restrictive or as loose as you want to with the rules and with the criteria inside of the rules that are going to be used to select the products that are going to be added to the category dynamically. So as you saw before, we're in the gloves section of the men's parent, and there were 4 products that were manually added. There were different gloves. What we're going to do is we're going to choose an attribute out of this long list of product attributes to be able to further refine a set of products that are not currently assigned to the category that we want to have added to the category. So as you can see in this list, there's a ton of attributes that we can select from. We're just going to go ahead and choose color as the attribute that we're going to work with for the refinement. Because I do know that in my sample data set, there are products that will match the refinement that we're going to work on. So we're going to choose color, we're going to say equals, and we're going to say blue. Now, what we have to do to be able to see this rule set be actually created is now that we have a rule in the rule set, we can click save. And now we have this rule set right here that has a specific rule of color equals blue. We can see that the status of this rule set is that it has been, or this rule is that it has been completed, which means that it's been committed to the system. Now we don't see any rule preview products yet that will match this color equals blue rule set and rule. So what we can do to be able to see the products that would be assigned, if we click the run button, we can click the preview button. So before actually running and enabling the rule and assigning products to a category dynamically, we can preview which products would be added by clicking that preview button as we did here. Now, with a simple rule of color equals blue, we can see that there are 3 new products that would be added to the category that are not in the category currently. These are 3 different iPod Nanos and an iPod Shuffle. So now that we know which products would be added, we can go ahead and either further refine the rule set by adding more rules with more conditions, or if we're satisfied with the products that are showing up, we can go ahead and click run. And then within a few seconds, which we can check the updated status by clicking this refresh button, once the rule set has been run and is completed, we can now go back to the category and see that our 3 products that were in the preview have been added to this category. And I drew your attention to this assign column before because the products that were added there before were manually added. Now we can see that the dynamically added products have a assigned value of dynamic for this column. Now I want to talk to you about a couple of limitations that you have with this. New products that come into the system are not automatically assigned to the categories. You do have to go ahead and run that job again to update the category. And rule-based categorization does not work directly on production. Just like with other data updates, you have to apply it on staging, then you have to replicate the information to production. And at the same time, while it doesn't work on production, it also has a processing limit of 100,000 products per category. So if you were going to run a rule that the preview showed more than 100,000 products, you wouldn't be able to run that rule itself and have it complete successfully.